The strange arrival. The night was calm on the colony world of New Dawn. Stars burned bright above the desert plains, and the wind carried only dust and silence. The human settlement slept behind high steel walls, guarded by tired soldiers who had grown used to uneventful nights. Nothing ever happened here. But that night was different. That night something fell from the sky. At first, the watchman thought it was a meteor. A streak of fire cut through the darkness, blazing across the horizon. The ground shook when it crashed into the desert, sending up clouds of sand and broken stone. Sirens wailed in the colony. Searchlights swept the night and armored trucks rolled out of the gates. The people gathered on rooftops and windows, watching the glowing trail in the distance. Captain Harris, the oldest soldier in the outpost, ordered his team forward.
"Stay sharp," he said.
Could be debris. Could be worse, nobody argued. Everyone in the colony knew that deep space held things stranger than rocks. When the soldiers reached the crash site, they froze. The object was no simple meteor. A broken craft lay half buried in the sand, smoke rising from twisted metal. The ship was small, built for one passenger and unlike any human design. Its surface glowed faintly with alien symbols, shifting and changing like they were alive. Sparks hissed from the wreck and a low hum filled the air. "Get the torches," Harris ordered. His men cut through the cracked hull. As the door fell open, the soldiers raised their rifles, expecting a monster. Instead, they saw a girl. She lay strapped to a shattered seat, her body limp, her chest rising weakly with each breath. She looked almost human, but not fully. Her skin was pale, glowing faintly in the darkness like soft moonlight. Strange markings ran along her arms and neck, glowing in rhythm with her heartbeat. Her hair shimmered like silver threads by the stars. One soldier whispered, "She's beautiful." "Don't be fooled," Harris barked. "She could be dangerous. Get her out." They carried her carefully back to the colony. She stirred once, opening her eyes. They were not human eyes. They glowed bright blue like burning ice. For a moment, the soldiers felt as if those eyes were looking straight into their souls. Then she collapsed again. The doctors worked quickly in the medical bay. Machines scanned her body, showing organs similar to human but not the same. Energy pulsed from her veins like liquid light. Every time she exhaled, the room's lights flickered. The doctors whispered to each other, unsure if she would live. Hours passed. The colony waited. Rumors spread among the people. Some said she was a spy from an alien empire. Others whispered she was a lost princess or a weapon in human form. Children asked their parents if the girl would save them or destroy them. Nobody knew the truth. Then, just before dawn, she woke. The alien girl sat up suddenly, gasping for air. The machines around her went wild, alarms blaring. The lights in the entire medical wing flashed on and off. Soldiers rushed in, rifles ready, but she did not attack. She only clutched her chest, her glowing skin dimming, her breath shallow. Captain Harris stepped forward. "Who are you?" he demanded. "What do you want here?" The girl's lips trembled. She spoke in broken English, as if the words were new to her. I'm not enemy." Her voice was soft but filled with fear. "Listen to me. If I am not chosen, I will die." The soldiers exchanged confused looks. "Chosen? What did that mean?" Harris narrowed his eyes. "What are you talking about?" "Chosen for what?" Her eyes filled with tears. She shook her head weakly. "You do not understand. My people, my sisters, they are all gone. Faded, dead. I am the last. If I do not connect, I will fade too." The room fell silent. The girl's glow dimmed further like a candle burning out. She reached for Harris's hand, her skin cold but buzzing with strange energy. "Please, help me," she whispered. "Do not let me vanish." Before Harris could reply, the lights in the colony shut down all at once. Darkness swallowed the room. Only the alien girl still glowed faintly, her body trembling. The hum of her strange energy filled the silence like a heartbeat. The soldiers raised their weapons, scanning the shadows. Something felt wrong. Something else had arrived. And then, far in the desert, another flash lit up the horizon. Not a crash this time, but a signal. Someone or something had noticed the girl's fall. The alien girl's eyes widened with terror. "They are coming," she whispered. "If you do not choose me, I will die, and you, all of you, will die too." The humans stood frozen, caught between fear and disbelief. The girl's words echoed in their minds. Was she a victim or a trap? Was she telling the truth or luring them into danger? No one knew. But one thing was certain. The night of peace was over. The human connection. The colony had not slept since the crash. Whispers filled every corridor, every home, every corner of New Dawn. The soldiers who had carried the alien girl back became instant celebrities, each telling their own version of what they saw. Some said she was glowing like a living star. Others swore she had whispered inside their heads without moving her lips. Nobody agreed on the details, but all agreed on one thing: she was not human. In the medical wing, Captain Harris stood guard outside her room. He had faced pirates, smugglers, and wild beasts on strange planets, but never something like this. The girl inside looked harmless, fragile even, but his instincts told him she carried danger with her. Not the danger of weapons, something deeper, something he could not name. Dr. Ilara, the colony's lead medic, came to him with her report. Her voice shook with both excitement and fear. "She is dying, Captain. Whatever is keeping her alive is burning out. Her body is stable, but her energy, the glow, is fading. If it disappears completely, she will not survive," Harris frowned. "And what was that talk about being chosen? What does it mean?" Ilara shook her head. "I don't know, but she keeps asking for someone to connect with her. I think it's more than words. It may be a biological process." The captain stared at the closed door. Or a trap. Inside the room, the alien girl sat upright, her silver hair falling over her shoulders, her glowing skin dimmer than before. When Ilara entered, she lifted her head weakly. Her voice was soft, but her eyes burned with urgency. You do not believe me," she whispered. Ilara sat beside her. "It's not that. We don't understand you. Help us understand." The girl hesitated, then placed her hand on Ilara's wrist. A shock ran through the doctor's body. Not painful, but strange, like touching lightning without the burn. Images filled Ilara's mind. Fields of glowing towers, alien cities under strange suns, and women who looked like the girl, hundreds of them. But they all faded into dust one by one, their glowing bodies dissolving into the wind. Ilara pulled her hand back, gasping. What was that?" The girl's eyes filled with sorrow. "My people, my sisters, all gone. When our time comes, we must bond. Without the bond, we fade. That is the law of our bodies. I am last." "I'm afraid," Ilara steadied her breath. "Bond? With who?" The girl looked at her, then shook her head. "Not with me. You are kind, but you are wrong for me. Only one can match. Only human. Strong enough to hold us, to keep us alive. The others who tried, they could not bear it. They died. That is why my sisters, all gone." Ilara felt her stomach tighten. This was no simple medical case. This was survival balanced on something they could not fully understand. When Ilara reported this to Harris and the council, the debate began. Some argued they should help her. Others said it was suicide. "What if she's telling the truth?" Ilara said. "What if her kind need us to survive? And what if she's lying?" Another council member snapped. "What if bonding means giving her control over one of us? What if she drains us dry?" The room filled with arguments. Fear clashed with curiosity, suspicion with compassion. Meanwhile, the girl's glow dimmed hour by hour. Among the soldiers standing watch was a young recruit named Daniel. Unlike the others, he could not look away from her. Something in her voice, her eyes, haunted him. He remembered the way she whispered, "Please help me." Those words kept echoing in his head. That night, while the council continued their endless debates, Daniel slipped into the medical wing. The girl sat alone, her light faint now, almost gone. She looked up weakly when he entered. "You came," she whispered. Daniel hesitated. "I don't even know why." "Everyone thinks you're dangerous." Her lips curved into a small, tired smile. "I am dangerous, but not to you. Not if you choose." He stepped closer. "What happens if nobody does?" Her eyes glistened. "Then I die, like the others. And when I die, those who hunt me will come here. They will burn this place to ash because they will know. You refused me." Daniel's throat went dry. "Hunters?" She nodded slowly. "They already know I fell. They always know. My sisters were taken, hunted one by one. When we fade, they collect what remains. If I bond, I live. If I live, I can fight them. If not, I vanish and you all follow." For a moment, Daniel stood frozen, staring at her. She looked weak, fragile, almost broken. Yet her words carried the weight of a storm. He didn't know if she spoke truth or lies, but he knew one thing. When he looked at her, he felt she was not just asking for survival. She was begging for trust. Outside, sirens wailed again. Another signal had appeared in the desert, stronger this time, closer. Harris rushed into the medical bay, shouting for everyone to prepare. The hunters she spoke of. They were here. The girl grabbed Daniel's hand before Harris could pull him away. Her touch sent fire rushing through his body. A connection deeper than words. Her voice echoed in his mind this time, not aloud. Choose me, or we both die. Daniel's breath caught. Around him, soldiers scrambled for weapons. Alarm screamed, and the colony braced for attack. But all he could hear was her voice inside his head, soft and desperate. And in that instant, he knew the human connection was already forming. The dangerous choice. The alarm still screamed across New Dawn. Red lights pulsed along the steel walls, and soldiers ran through the colony streets carrying rifles and heavy packs. Everyone knew what the sirens meant. Danger was near. Inside the medical bay, the alien girl's glow flickered weakly, like a dying flame. Her hand still clutched Daniel's, her grip surprisingly strong for someone so close to death. Her glowing eyes locked on his, and though she barely whispered, her voice felt like thunder in his chest. You must choose. No more time. Captain Harris stormed in, his voice sharp. Get away from her, soldier. Daniel tried to pull back, but the girl tightened her grip. A jolt of energy ran through him. Like lightning under his skin, he gasped. Harris aimed his rifle at her. She's controlling him, one soldier shouted. No, Daniel managed to say, his voice shaking. She's showing me. In that moment, Daniel saw flashes of her memories again. Endless deserts under alien suns, towers of glowing crystal, her sisters, dozens of them. Their bodies shining brightly one moment and dissolving into dust the next. He felt her terror, her loneliness, her endless search for someone who could hold her life. The vision ended. Daniel staggered but stayed standing. His eyes burned with a strange blue glow for a heartbeat before fading. Harris lowered his weapon slightly, unease crossing his face. What did she do to you? She showed me the truth, Daniel said, breathless. She's not lying. She'll die if no one bonds with her. Alara stepped closer, voice urgent. Captain, look at her. She has only hours left. If what she says is true, and if we don't help, she won't survive the night. And if she's lying? Harris snapped. Then we give her exactly what she wants. One of our own tied to her forever. Do you know what that means? Daniel turned to him. It means risk, but it also means survival. The alien girl's glow dimmed again, forcing the choice on them. Her voice trembled. The bond is not easy, it hurts. It breaks those too weak. But you, Daniel, you are strong enough, Harris shook his head. Absolutely not. You're a recruit barely trained. You don't understand what you're walking into. Daniel clenched his fists. Then maybe it has to be me. Nobody else is willing. The room fell silent. The girl looked at him, hope flickering in her fading eyes. Harris cursed under his breath, but before he could argue further, the sound of explosions thundered in the distance. The hunters had arrived. The ground shook. The colony walls flashed with impact as alien ships fired from the skies. The people screamed, rushing into shelters. Soldiers ran to the defenses. Harris gave the order for everyone to take battle positions, but Daniel stayed. He looked at the alien girl. She was slipping fast, her glow almost gone. Without the bond, she wouldn't survive the attack. Dr. Alara met his eyes, fear and hope mixed in her expression. If you're going to do this, do it now, Daniel nodded, heart pounding. He turned to the girl. Tell me what to do. She reached for his hands. Her skin was cold but pulsing with faint energy. You must open yourself. No walls, no fear. If you resist, we both die. Daniel closed his eyes. He thought of the colony, of the people screaming outside, of the hunters in the sky. He thought of the girl's sisters fading to dust. Then he thought of her, alone, afraid, begging for trust. He opened his mind. The bond struck like fire. His chest burned, his veins lit up like rivers of light. He screamed, falling to his knees. The girl cried out with him, her glow flaring bright. Images crashed into Daniel's mind. Stars, wars, alien worlds, endless voices calling and then fading. He felt her pain, her fear, her desperate will to live. The soldiers watching tried to pull him away, but the energy surged outward, knocking them back. Lights shattered, machines sparked. The air itself vibrated with the force of the connection. Daniel collapsed onto the floor, gasping for air. His skin glowed faintly, the same rhythm as hers. The bond was forming. The girl leaned over him, her strength returning, her glow rising brighter than before. "You did it," she whispered. "You chose." But Daniel's body shook violently. His breath came ragged. His heart pounded so hard it felt like it would burst. "Will he survive?" Alara cried out. The girl's expression darkened. "I do not know." Daniel opened his eyes for a moment. They glowed the same burning blue as hers. He looked at Harris, at Alara, then back at the girl. His voice was faint but steady. "If I die, at least she lives." And then his body went limp. The girl screamed, her glow blazing bright enough to light the whole room. Energy surged through the walls, spreading across the colony. Outside, the hunters' ships faltered mid-flight, their engines flickering. For the first time, the humans saw the bond's true power. But inside the medical bay, Daniel lay motionless, his fate uncertain. The girl held him close, tears shining in her glowing eyes. "Do not leave me," she whispered. "We are one now. You cannot leave me." Her glow filled the room like a second sun, and as the battle outside raged, everyone inside knew the dangerous choice had been made, and there was no turning back. The bond tested. The colony of New Dawn shook under the weight of the attack. Alien ships circled above like predators, their weapons hammering the steel walls. Explosions lit the night sky, and frightened colonists huddled in shelters while soldiers fought to hold the line. But in the medical bay, the battle was not only outside, it was inside Daniel's body. He lay on the floor, his chest rising weakly. His skin glowed faintly, pulses of light racing through his veins like liquid fire. The alien girl knelt beside him, her hands pressed against his chest, her own glow burning brighter than ever. "Breathe," she whispered. "You must breathe. If you fade, I fade." Dr. Alara worked frantically, scanning Daniel's vitals. "His body can't handle the energy," she muttered. "It's rewriting him at the cellular level. He shouldn't be alive at all, but he was alive, barely." Every breath came as a struggle, but every time he exhaled, her glow steadied. Their lives were bound together now. If one failed, both would fall. Captain Harris stood in the doorway, his face hard. "How long until he stabilizes?" Alara shook her head. "I don't know. This is beyond human medicine." The alien girl looked up at him. "He will survive. The bond is strong, but it must be tested. If he cannot hold me, I die. And when I die, you all die." Harris clenched his jaw. "And if the bond breaks him, then he dies and I die with him," she said without hesitation. There is no other way. Her calm certainty chilled the room. Suddenly, Daniel's eyes snapped open. They glowed with the same burning blue as hers. He gasped, sitting up, clutching his chest. The energy surged again, shaking the lights. He looked at the girl. I feel you," she nodded. "And I feel you." Their connection was more than physical. Daniel felt her fear, her pain, her desperate need to survive. He also felt her strength, her memories of endless stars, her burning hatred for the hunters who had destroyed her sisters. It was overwhelming, almost too much to carry. The girl placed her hand on his. "Do not resist. If you resist me, it will kill us both. Trust me. Let it flow." Daniel forced himself to calm, letting the strange energy move through him. Slowly, the pain lessened. His breathing steadied. The glow between them pulsed in rhythm, two heartbeats becoming one. But the bond was not just power. It was a door. And doors opened both ways. Suddenly, she gasped, her eyes widening. She was seeing his life now. The dusty colony streets. The long nights of guard duty. The loneliness of being a nobody in a forgotten world. She saw his memories of loss. His parents dying when raiders attacked their transport years ago. His choice to join the militia because he had nowhere else to go. Her voice was soft. "You carry sorrow. You carry strength. This is why you could hold me." Daniel looked away, ashamed. "You shouldn't see that." "I cannot choose what I see," she whispered. "The bond shows all. Your pain is mine now, as mine is yours." Before he could answer, the walls shook violently. Another blast struck the colony. Soldiers outside shouted orders. Harris cursed. "The hunters are breaching the west gate. We can't hold them much longer." The alien girl rose to her feet, pulling Daniel with her. Her glow flared, stronger than before. "We can fight them, but only together." Daniel staggered, still weak, but nodded. "Tell me what to do." She placed his hand over her heart. The glow spread into him, his body lighting up brighter than before. His senses sharpened. He could hear the hum of the hunters' engines outside. feel the tremor of their boots on the ground. His reflexes quickened, his muscles tightened with strength beyond human. "This is the bond's gift," she said. "Your body awakens with my power. But it will test you. If you lose control, it consumes you." Harris watched in disbelief as Daniel stood taller, his eyes blazing with alien light. "You're turning him into one of you," the captain muttered. "No," the girl replied coldly. "I am turning him into what he was always meant to be." The medical bay doors burst open. Alien hunters stormed inside, armored figures with weapons that glowed with dark energy. Their leader raised a clawed hand. "Return the girl," he growled, "or die with her." The soldiers raised their rifles, but Daniel stepped forward first. Energy surged through him, and with a single strike he sent one hunter crashing into the wall. The others opened fire, but Daniel moved with inhuman speed, dodging blasts and striking back. Every move he made echoed with the alien girl's glow, their bond guiding his body. But every strike he landed burned him inside, every surge of energy testing his limits. He felt his strength tearing at his own flesh. He gritted his teeth, refusing to fall. The girl fought beside him, her glow blasting hunters into ash. But even as they fought, Daniel felt her pain inside him. Every wound she took cut into his own flesh. Blood ran from his side, though no blade had touched him. When the last hunter fell, Daniel collapsed to one knee, gasping. The girl caught him, her arms glowing bright. "You see now," she whispered. "Our bond makes us strong, but it also binds our suffering. If I bleed, you bleed. If I fall, you fall." Daniel looked into her glowing eyes, sweat dripping down his face. "Then we fight as one, no matter the cost." Outside, more explosions shook the colony. The battle was far from over. But inside, the bond had been tested and it had not broken. Not yet. The hunt, the fires of battle painted the colony red. Towers burned, walls cracked, and the night sky screamed with alien engines. The people of New Dawn huddled in bunkers, praying the soldiers could hold the line. But everyone knew the truth. The colony had never faced enemies like these before. The hunters had come. And they would not stop until they claimed the alien girl. Daniel stood at the edge of the battlefield, his chest heaving, his skin glowing faintly with her light. The alien girl was beside him, her silver hair catching the firelight, her eyes fierce but tired. Their bond pulsed between them, every heartbeat shared, every wound felt together. "They are coming for us," she said quietly. "They will not waste time on anyone else. They want me, and they know you carry me now." Daniel's grip tightened on his rifle. It felt heavier than before, almost useless compared to the power thrumming inside his body. "Then let them come." Captain Harris stormed up behind them, his uniform smeared with ash and blood. "This isn't bravery, kid. It's madness. They want her, fine. But why risk the entire colony for one alien we don't even know?" Daniel turned to him, his eyes glowing faintly. "Because she's not just one alien. She's the key to fighting them." The girl looked at Harris, her voice calm but sharp. "He is right. If I die, they will sweep this colony away. If I live, you stand a chance," Harris cursed under his breath. He hated it. But the battlefield outside left no time for arguments. The hunters were already pushing deeper into the colony. The first wave came like shadows slipping through fire. Armored figures leapt over the broken walls, their weapons glowing with dark heat. They moved with deadly precision, cutting down human soldiers with swift, merciless strikes. Daniel felt them before he saw them. The bond sharpened his senses, and the tremor of their boots, the hum of their weapons, the hunger in their blood. "They're here," he whispered. The hunters burst into the square. Daniel and the alien girl moved as one. Energy surged through him, guiding his body with unnatural speed. His rifle barked fire, each shot striking with deadly accuracy. When his bullets ran dry, his fist struck harder than steel, fueled by the bond's power. The girl fought beside him, her glow flaring with each strike. Her hands unleashed bursts of light that sent hunters sprawling, their armor sizzling. She moved like water, graceful and deadly, every step echoing in Daniel's chest. But the hunters were endless. For every one that fell, two more slipped from the smoke. They came at Daniel in waves, and though he fought with strength beyond human, the energy ripped through his body like fire. His vision blurred, his muscles screamed. The girl felt it too. She staggered, clutching her side, though no blade had touched her. Their pain was shared, every wound doubled between them. Daniel gritted his teeth, forcing himself forward. He could not stop. If he fell, she would fall too. One hunter, larger than the rest, crashed into him, pinning him against the ground. Its claws raked across his chest, leaving glowing marks that burned like acid. Daniel cried out, the pain tearing through both of them. The girl screamed, her glow flaring so bright it blinded the square. She hurled the hunter off him with a burst of raw energy. The creature hit the wall and crumbled into ash. But the blast drained her. She collapsed to her knees, gasping, her glow flickering dangerously. Daniel crawled to her side, pulling her up. Stay with me. Her eyes were wide with fear. The bond. It is not enough. We are strong, but not complete. Unless we finish it, we cannot win. They will overwhelm us, Daniel's heart pounded. Finish it? What does that mean? Her lips trembled. It means you must give me more than strength. You must give me part of your life itself. He froze. My life? She nodded weakly. Your essence. Your years. Without it, I cannot hold the bond. Without it, I fade and they take everything. Before Daniel could respond, more hunters charged into the square. The people of the colony screamed as the enemy pushed closer. The steel gates bent under the weight of the assault. Harris shouted orders, but his voice was drowned by the roar of the battle. Soldiers fell, hunters advanced, and the colony began to break. Daniel looked at the girl. Her glow was almost gone. The hunter's shadow stretched longer with every step. It was clear now. The bond they had formed was only the beginning. Without the final step, it would kill them both. He swallowed hard, his voice steady. If that's what it takes, then take it. Her eyes widened. You do not understand. If I take too much, you die. If I take too little, we both die. Daniel tightened his grip on her hand. Then trust yourself. Do what you must. I'd rather give my life than watch you fade. The hunters closed in, their weapons glowing with death. The people screamed as the colony's walls gave way. The girl pressed her forehead to his, her glow flickering back to life. Then hold on, Daniel. For this choice will break you, or save us all. And as the hunters lunged, the ritual began. The truth of completion. The square burned with smoke and fire. Human soldiers fell back, dragging the wounded, while hunters pushed closer. The steel gates were twisted, sparks flying from broken turrets. The colony was collapsing, but at the center of it all, Daniel and the alien girl stood locked together, glowing faintly in the chaos. Her hands trembled against his chest, her eyes burning with desperation. It must be done now, she whispered. The bond is not enough. We need completion. Daniel gritted his teeth, barely able to stand. His body burned with every heartbeat, the energy tearing him apart. Tell me how. She hesitated, fear flickering in her expression. If I take too much, you will die. If I take too little, I will die. There is no safe path. Only trust. Captain Harris barked from behind them, firing into the smoke. Don't listen to her, kid. You don't know what she'll do. But Daniel ignored him. His eyes never left hers. Then take what you need. I'll survive it. Her glow dimmed, her lips trembling. Do not lie. I can feel your body breaking already. To complete the bond, you must willingly give me your life. Years, memories, strength. It will become mine. Daniel's chest tightened. His life? He thought of the little he had. No family, no home beyond the colony. He had nothing but his service. Nothing but long nights of guard duty and the weight of survival. What was a life worth if it could save everyone else? The hunters broke through the last defense line. Blades and energy rifles flashed in the firelight. Soldiers screamed. The colony's walls fell and death poured in. The girl reached for him again, tears glowing on her cheeks. Decide now. If you refuse, we both fall. If you accept, you may not survive the night. Daniel took her hands, his voice steady despite the roar around them. Then take it. I'm not afraid. She stared at him, her glowing eyes wide. Why, you owe me nothing. Why would you give me this? Daniel's lips curved into the faintest of smiles. Because no one deserves to fade alone. The moment those words left him, she pressed her forehead to his. The ritual began. A surge of light ripped through the square, brighter than any fire. The hunters staggered back, shielding their eyes. Humans fell to the ground, blinded by the sudden burst. Inside that glow, Daniel felt his life unravel. Memories pulled from him like threads. His childhood on Earth, his parents' laughter. The quiet loneliness of his teenage years. The day he signed his name to join the militia. He felt years slip from him, flowing into her like water into dry earth. The pain was unbearable. His body shook, his lungs burned, his heart pounded as if it were being torn in half. He screamed, but the sound was lost in the roar of light. The girl gasped, her body drinking in his essence. Her glow flared, brighter and brighter, until her silver hair shimmered like fire. Her wounds vanished, her strength surged, and her body pulsed with new life. But she felt his pain too. Every memory she took filled her with sorrow. She saw his lonely nights, his hidden grief, the years he thought wasted. Her tears fell as she absorbed him, her voice breaking. "Enough," she cried. "If I take more, you will die." But Daniel clutched her hand tighter, forcing the connection to stay open. "Do it! Finish it!" Outside the glow, the hunters advanced again, their leader raising a massive blade. Harris fired desperately, but the enemy kept coming. Inside the bond, the girl trembled. She could feel Daniel's heart slowing, his life flickering out. She sobbed, shaking her head. "No, no, I will not let you fade." With a cry, she reversed the flow. Energy surged back into him, her own essence pouring into his broken body. His glow flared again, steadying. His heart thundered back to life. The two of them stood in perfect balance, their bodies blazing with shared power. They were no longer separate, they were one. Daniel opened his eyes. They glowed with twin fire, human and alien fused together. The girl's voice echoed inside his mind, clear and strong. "We are complete." The hunters saw it too. For the first time, they hesitated. Daniel stepped forward, his body thrumming with energy. Every movement felt effortless, every breath sharp and strong. He raised his hand and light burst from his palm, striking a hunter with a force that shattered its armor. The girl moved beside him, her glow weaving with his. Together they unleashed a storm of light and fire, cutting through the hunters like blades through smoke. The colony soldiers watched in awe as the impossible unfolded before their eyes. But inside, Daniel knew the truth. He was alive but changed. The girl's essence burned in him now, and his life was no longer his alone. When the last hunter fell, silence hung over the battlefield. The fires still burned, the walls still broken, but the enemy was gone. Daniel dropped to one knee, exhausted. The girl caught him, her arms steady, her eyes glowing with fierce pride. "You gave me life," she whispered. "Now we are one. Your fate is mine. Mine is yours." Daniel managed a faint, tired smile. "Then let's hope neither of us regrets it." Far above, in the blackness of space, more signals stirred. The hunters were only the beginning, and now that the bond was complete, far greater eyes were watching. The final choice, the battlefield, lay in ruins. The walls of New Dawn were cracked, flames licked the sky, and the ground was littered with broken steel and the remains of hunters. Smoke rolled through the streets, carrying the sharp stench of burned metal and blood. Daniel knelt in the rubble, his chest heaving, his body still glowing faintly with alien light. The alien girl stood at his side, steadying him with one arm. Her silver hair shimmered, her eyes blazing with strength she hadn't possessed before. The bond was complete, but the cost of it weighed heavy on them both. The colony soldiers gathered, their weapons lowered, their faces a mixture of awe and fear. They had seen what no human had ever seen, a man wielding alien power, fighting like a storm-given flesh. But they also saw the truth in his trembling hands and weary face. He was no longer only human. Captain Harris approached cautiously, rifle slung over his shoulder, his jaw set hard. "You did it. You drove them back." Daniel forced himself to stand, his glow flickering with each breath. For now, the girl looked skyward. Above the smoke, more lights shimmered in the void. Dozens, then hundreds, signals, ships. "They are not finished," she said softly. The hunters were only the first wave. "The true enemy is coming." The crowd fell silent. Fear rippled through them. If the first attack nearly destroyed the colony, what chance would they have against an entire fleet? Harris clenched his fists. "Then we can't win." The girl shook her head, her glowing markings pulsing. "Not without me. Not without us." She looked at Daniel. "Together we are strong enough to fight. But the bond must be pushed further. That means risk beyond what you've already given." Daniel frowned. "How much risk?" Her eyes softened with sorrow. "All of you. If we burn too bright, you may not survive. But if we do nothing, your people will be wiped away." It was the truth of their union, strength bought with sacrifice. The people began to murmur. Some cried out to give her what she wanted. Others begged to hand her over to the enemy to save themselves. The council members argued loudly, torn between fear and hope. Daniel stood in the middle of it all, silent. The bond pulsed within him. her thoughts brushing against his like whispers in the dark. She did not push him, did not demand. She only waited. At last he spoke. His voice carried through the smoke-filled square. When I joined the militia, I thought my life meant nothing. I thought I was just another body to fill a uniform. But now I see the truth. It's not about one life. It's about what we choose to give it for. He looked at the girl, his partner now in every sense. If my life buys this colony a chance to live, then take it. The girl's eyes filled with tears, glowing faintly in the firelight. Daniel, I cannot. You gave me life. I will not destroy yours. He reached out, brushing her hand. We're not destroying it. We're sharing it. If I fall, then take me with you. If I live, then we live together. The bond flared. Their light surged, brighter than before, filling the ruins with a glow that pushed back the smoke and shadows. Soldiers shielded their eyes. The colonists gasped, and even Harris stumbled back, stunned by the radiance. Above, the enemy ships began to descend, their weapons warming. The ground trembled with the weight of their coming. The girl pressed her forehead to Daniel's, her voice steady now. Then let us burn together. The energy exploded outward. Daniel roared, his body blazing like a star. The girl's glow joined his, the two of them fusing into a single wave of power. Their light shot skyward, striking the incoming ships. The first vessel shattered instantly, ripped apart by the blast. Others staggered, their engines faltering. The sky lit with fire as ships burned one after another, torn apart by the impossible force of the completed bond. But every burst drained Daniel. His skin cracked with light, his veins burned like fire, his breath tore from his lungs. He felt himself fading, slipping toward the edge of nothing. The girl felt it too. She cried out, gripping him tightly, refusing to let go. No, stay with me. Do not fade. Daniel's voice was weak but steady. If this is the cost, then it's worth it. The glow reached its peak, a second sun burning above the colony. The enemy fleet recoiled, scattering into the dark, fleeing the storm that the human and the alien had become. And then, silence. The light faded. The smoke cleared. The colony still stood. The enemy was gone. Daniel collapsed, his glow extinguished. His body was still, his breath shallow, his skin pale. The girl knelt over him, her tears falling onto his face, glowing as they touched his skin. Do not leave me, she whispered. We are one now. You cannot leave me. Her hands pressed against his chest, and for a moment nothing happened. Then slowly his chest rose again. A faint glow returned to his veins. His eyes fluttered open, weak but alive. He smiled faintly. Still here? She laughed through her tears, clutching him tightly. Around them the colonists cheered, their voices breaking the silence with cries of hope. Captain Harris lowered his head, shaking it in disbelief. Humanity's finest, he muttered. But high above in the endless dark of space, unseen eyes watched. The battle was over, but the war was not. The bond had saved New Dawn, but it had also sent a signal far across the stars. Humanity was no longer just prey. They had fused with something greater, and the galaxy would never forget it.